Well, yeah, so I didn't work that, I mean, I worked in the office that week before. Then the next week, William, my youngest son, got sick.
So in case anybody, I did have a Teams call set up. Nobody's on there, but in case they do.
Jeff, grab a chair.
I call this meeting of the Oliver County Planning and Zoning Board to order, 7 p.m. on January 29th, 2026. Meeting is open to the public. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Okay, roll call. Jody?
Here.
Bill?
Here.
Cassie? Here. Linda? Here. Troy? Matt?
Here.
Gary? We have quorum.
We have quorum. Next, we need to reorganize the board. We'll take nominations for a chair and a vice chair. Do we have any nominations?
I will nominate Matt as chair.
I will second that.
Do we have somebody to motion?
What'd you say?
Anybody want to make a motion for it?
I thought Linda did.
Unanimous ballot.
Unanimous ballot.
The nomination was a motion and we have to have a second. Oh, make a motion for unanimous ballot.
Second.
How do we vote? Agree?
Yes.
Yes? The next item on the approval of the agenda,
We have to do vice chair.
we have to do the vice chair. We have a
Who's
nomination
presently
for
our
the
vice chair?
Bill.
Bill.
Bill
Bill
is?
is.
Well, I would make a motion for Bill to be vice chair.
I'd second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next item is approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections within the agenda?
I would make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Yes, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Next is approval of the minutes from the December 18th, 2025. Are there any corrections that need to be made on there?
I wasn't here, so.
I would move to approve.
Can we get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes will be approved. Next will be the public commenting period for the general public. Any business or any items from the current or previous agenda from last month. This is not a public hearing portion. Before speaking, the state law requires that each speaker provide their name and their address in a written form. We have a form up here that you can fill that out. The address portion of it will be treated as exempt to the record. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to talk. We'll now take public comments. Anybody that wants to speak, if they want to come up and fill this out, put down their name, they can have an opportunity to to speak what's on our agenda for tonight or anything that we discussed from December?
Matt, I do have a question. Dave Herder, Albany County. As far as you say, fill out the sheet on what you want to talk about, what if you don't know if you got anything to say until something comes up?
Well, according to the state law, we're required to give a public an opportunity to speak about what's on the agenda or anything that we discussed from last time. There will be a later portion during the public hearing where they'll also have another opportunity to speak, according to state law. It's not a situation where we just have an open discussion where everybody can talk about. We need to follow the structure that the state has laid out for the way we carry the meetings for everybody. And the form,
If it's really state law, or if it was recommended by the state that every taxpayer organization that gets taxpayer funds
Mhm.
can set their own guidelines.
Right.
Because the county commission hasn't done it.
I'm just going off of a basic structure to try to get some more organization in here
Okay.
so that we're not having 20, 30-minute conversations about one topic. So we have to implement some type of structure in here where everybody gets a fair opportunity to speak, whether they're for or against anything that's on the agenda, or they're for or against anything that was on the agenda last month. So I mean, we know what we have on the agenda. If anybody knows of anything that they want to say based on what's already on the agenda, this would be their opportunity to. Does that make sense?
Steve Fedek, represent NL, Flat Rock Energy. Just was gonna visit with you about the wind ordinances that you're talking about. You want to pick that up later or discuss it now?
Well, it's open discussion for you to state anything that you want to speak on. When we actually have a hearing and we're actually doing the hearing for the ordinance would be the opportunity to have the discussion. Right now, it's just a notice that we're going to have it.
Okay. I'll pick it up later then.
So I'm assuming people are here for a certain part of this agenda.
Correct.
Okay.
I would assume so too.
So when we get to that part of the agenda, then they can speak? Is that what you're saying? Like
Well,
those
again,
ordinance discussions?
Again, based on state law, there's certain requirements that we have to do. We have to give them the opportunity to speak. We have to give everybody the same opportunity to speak for a certain amount of time. So we're just trying to add a little bit of structure to the meetings because it's becoming more of a open dialogue between everybody in the county. And we get people that'll come in here and they'll talk for 5 minutes and then industry will be in here talking over them and
And then maybe they just want to wait
It-
till we get to that
right,
section.
it becomes a little bit more involved in here, like it's a working meeting versus a regular board meeting. Does that make sense?
Dan Dale again. I may want to speak later, I don't know, because I don't know what the new
Right.
ordinances are, or what your new, but I want to be able to speak if I can.
Do we have copies of that for anybody to get?
There's there in the
Anything that
back.
we were gonna work on?
Everything is in the back.
Was it published?
Well, it's just a discussion at this point. It's not actually,
This is not
It's
a
not-
public hearing for any ordinance
Right.
changes at all. This is
Right, but I mean, the way you're setting this up right now, if I don't sign up right now, you're telling me I can't talk later.
no, you could talk later too. You just have to do that before you can talk at all.
That's not what you said earlier.
if there's an opportunity to say something right now, you sign up. Later, when we have a discussion about it, it can be a public discussion, but it's not gonna be a hearing, because we're not hearing it today, we're just gonna have a discussion about it. Well, the next item is gonna be building permit 1079 for Minnesota Power Substation East Yard.
Well, I'm Kyle Larson from Minnesota Power. So, would you like me to sign up as well, Matt?
Sure.
Okay.
Just for a matter of record.
Yep, no problem at all. And I'll reference the building permit on here just for the record as well. Okay. And Jaden said she has a packet to all of you guys already. I don't know how much you've had to review. There's a
Before
lot.
you begin, the second part is the revised road maintenance.
When I
Okay,
went through the permit, the road use agreement was the one before we put the changes in and approved it.
Oh.
So I attached the approved,
perfect.
The approved
commission
one,
approved
yeah.
one on the back.
After the last one we went through with Patrick, through everybody, right?
Yep.
Thank you very
Yep.
much for catching that.
Yep.
So,
And then the weed control plan, there's some reference in here to some people who aren't on the board anymore, including Judy Hintz.
okay, I recognize
So,
that too, and
Um,
that's a action on us. We'll get it.
yeah. Linda's no longer on the board, Judy is no longer auditor, secretary, treasurer. And at this point, Rick is not the weed control officer, but it looks like you used the 2023 thing, so
Okay.
just as a,
Use
just as a
the
reference to get
most
updated. Yeah.
Weed control board.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get that submitted back to you.
Those are the only things that I noticed for everybody's information, so.
And since you attached the current road use maintenance agreement, do you want us to submit it again, or as long as you attach that to your
Everybody has a
permit?
copy of it, and this was already previously approved by the county commissioners for the whole project, so I
Okay,
don't think we would need to resubmit it once it's been approved.
sounds good. Okay. Thank you, Jaden. And like I said, lots in this packet, about 5 pages in, there's an overview of the project. It starts with Minnesota Power logo on top, and then it says, looks like this one. I'll start there. It'd be ahead of that one. There you go.
Awesome.
Yep, Jaden's got it organized better than I had it. And it printed
No, I
out.
just printed off what you sent me,
Well,
so.
This one, it's just a little bit of a narrative of what the project is. We currently have a building permit for another scope on that project, but we didn't have engineering complete for the scope we're asking for right now. So it is just a expansion of the project we have, extending the pad off of there. It's a switching station, so it's just a substation, basically a 345 kV. So the main portion that we built out on 32nd Avenue Southwest right now is it's a converter station for DC to AC power. So it converts it from 250 kV DC to AC, which is currently our station in center, but it's aged out and we're rebuilding a new one, and there'll be a substation that drops down to 345,000 volts for more of the distributed voltage around the area. So that is the one that's on here, and that is generally, they said right off of the pad that we currently have. There will be lines interconnecting that over to another new substation. This will be a greenfield site that we're currently working through. We're working with landowners for easement to come down a quarter section line to the county section line. We're working with Matthias Earhart, Yolanda Bittner, Darlene and Kenny Vaguely, excuse me, and then Keith Earhart property, or Mary Earhart Trust property there. The Mary, it'd be Earhart-Liebold Trust. So that will be easement, and when we hit towards the county section line, we'll be staying on the Mary Liebold East Earhart property, not impacting the section line or improving. That will be entirely on their property. There'll be a small portion where we cross over the section line that runs east and west, where we turn down to our property that Minnesota Power owns along Nelson Lake. And that'll be a 230,000 volt and 345,000 volt substation there. And it'll be with Great River Energy as well. They have a bay in that substation under the current plans. We do have about a mile and a half of road to build into there. They'll be maintained by us as part of the agreement with landowners, gated off to public access. And right now, that's the information on there. And we think in all of those, like Jaden said, weed control plan attached, road use maintenance agreement is there. The same contractor will be utilized for the first one I talked about, where it's the East Oliver converter station and switching station. The other station is out for bids right now, so it's yet to be determined who's going to be building that project. We'll be managing it. So, and we have estimates for the cost right now in there within your packet as well, and that's for all of our dirt work, civil work that we have planned if permit goes through, starting in May to June timeframe, depending.
That's the 14.6.
Correct. We've requested a check, but until the permit goes through and approved, we'd be bringing it to county board or to the planning and zoning again as required. Check it mailed directly to Jaden, actually, I think is the way it works. Not to Jaden, but to the county.
I think Dan said it was processing.
It is processing. And like I said, there's a lot of information. The full grading plan is there, so you can see contours, fills if you want to see. The only real inspection we get from the Public Utility Commission is they bring out someone initially for an environmental inspection, look at it, document the topsoil that we remove, and then they have check-ins that are yearly after that to ensure that we are doing what we've committed to with them. And there's existing infrastructure, like I said, that at our Square Butte station that's right near Nelson Lake now. It's just we don't have the property or we can't take an outage on that and keep everything going. So we had to build on new properties is the purpose behind it.
Any of you guys see anything in here?
Part of the project does consist of improving 32nd Avenue as well from 25 into the project just for deliveries, and we've just been working with the county board and we've hired more engineering to do the preliminary engineering and final construction, and they're going to be the one doing
Is
it.
the road that you're going to build into there going to be permanent, or is it temporary just for the construction?
The road,
Yeah.
it'll be permanent. It'll be improved county road, built to spec there, and it's the road. I think edge to edge is going to be 28 feet, is what it is on edge of gravel to edge of gravel. Right now, the road couldn't support the vehicle traffic it would take. We'd be struggling. We own the property at both sites. We bought a section of land at the Easter Oliver converter station, and we own 180 acres at the other site.
Well, I would make a motion to approve the building permit for a Minnesota Power substation in East Yard.
Can we get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
Thank you very much. Any questions, please let me know.
We'll now open up the public hearing on the conditional use permit 1078 for North Plains Connector LLC transmission lines. This hearing is being held so the proposed action may be submitted for discussion so the parties in interest and citizens have an opportunity to be heard.
Good evening. Thanks for having us on the agenda. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the North Plains Connector project, so I'll give just a high-level overview, if that's okay.
Yes.
We started this project in 2021, and this is a HVDC, high voltage direct current line. It's about 422 miles total from Colstrip into Morton County, and it has two AC segments. One that comes up into Oliver County, and then we have one a basin segment as well. That's an AC portion. What this line was designed to do is basically connect three markets together: MISO, SPP, and WEC. And why we've been doing this for 4 years and kind of just now getting here is we took a different approach. We call it stakeholder first approach, where we kind of flip the script. Typically what projects will do is they'll go apply for their permits and they get a footprint, take it out to landowners and say, here you go, and we have to kind of operate in that corridor. We did it backwards. We worked with landowners, communities, agencies first, and what we did was we got options for easements, and we are 99% acquired in North Dakota and 96% acquired in Montana. The entire route is agreed to. We're just working through some agreement formalities. And we wanted to get through that before we started getting our local level permits, our state level permits, federal permits. And what's a little different for us in getting a conditional use permit now is with the PSC, is we'll be applying for a PSC certificate next month. And our construction's not going to start until late 2027 at the earliest. And so we have this kind of lag time. And most counties in North Dakota on their conditional use permit, they have an expiration date. And so we're a little ahead of the game, but we wanted to, according to like stakeholder first, get our local permits and then go to the PSC and get our regulatory permit. This is kind of the final step for us. And so we put together this application. We're in compliance with the ordinance, and we can walk through kind of the application if you guys would like, or answer questions. We've included the kind of a purpose and need. We've got the route in there, our memos of agreements in place, the maps, and then we have we've added some additional information at the end, as we will have a weed plan that will be approved, as well as a road use agreement to be used when we get into construction, and those will be both presented for the weed. The weed plan will be presented to the weed board for approval, and then the haul route agreement will go to the board of commissioners. We've been working that agreement. It's been socialized, but we will take it with the haul route maps and have it approved. Actually, in a couple months, we'll start that process because we'll do road prep next year. You guys want to run? Do you have anything to add, Molly? Sorry, I should introduce myself.
I was going to stop you.
I was like, I've sat in this room so many times over the past few years. My name is Denisha Cummings. I'm a senior developer for the North Plains Connector, and I've been on this project since it started, and been in this room many times. So,
And I'm Molly Smith. I'm with Frederickson and Byron. I'm outside permitting council, so helping with all the local permitting and the PSC permitting. I guess the only thing I would say is, yeah, we have like a table one that kind of outlines some of the different pieces that are required in the ordinance and where you can find them in the application. But yes, everything is lined out in here to align with the requirements in the zoning ordinance. So I think with that, if there are any questions, it might be easier to answer questions than go through it, but happy to do whatever you guys would like.
Do you guys have any questions or comments?
You've already gone to the Industrial Commission, correct?
This one is just for the Public Service Commission because it's
Okay.
electric transmission line. Yeah.
Yeah, so as far as permitting goes, we have, we're in our federal process. This is going through DOE, so it's going through EIS process. The DEIS was just published December 9th, I believe. And so it's out and available to view. The MESA certificate, which is a Montana state process, is underway as well. That was filed September 2024. We'll have both of those permits at the end of this year. That's the anticipated date. Same with PSC, filing it in February. We expect to have that certificate end of this year, which will enable us to start planning for construction. Roads, lay down yards, so potential clearing late next year, with major construction occurring in 2028. And it could be in service as early as 2031.
Yeah, and all the other county permits are in hand with the exception of Morton County, and that one just takes a little longer because they have the converter station. That's the only part that they're permitting, not the line. So just getting all the engineering for that, and it'll be in soon. And I think there isn't a term specified in the ordinance for the permit, so we didn't specify anything for a request specifically.
And you said you have 98%?
99%.
99%.
So the route is 100% agreed to. We're just working out two final documents, and one of them has to do with the legal description of a property, like a road doesn't quite line up with the legal description. We'll have to get like a title opinion on it.
Okay.
So,
And I suppose one other thing we should know, because this is such a big project and we're kind of early in the game, we would ask for some flexibility to stay, as long as we're on the same landowner's property, and they have their agreement, the ability to, shift structures or shift along the line or shift the route slightly, identify the best place for access roads and all of that with them. So that flexibility is one of the things we're asking for because some of the work is still yet to be done.
Okay.
it mainly applies to construction. We've done a lot of surveying, planning, things like that, but you're likely to anticipate or discover something in construction that will take a minor shift.
And sometimes landowners say, gosh, now that I see it, could we shift a little bit? So.
I will say that's one thing I didn't mention when we started this project. The line was straight, one end to one end, and we've added about 26 miles because of landowner reroutes where they'd say shift it here, and so it's got a lot of jogs, so it looks much different than most electric transmission lines that you see. And so that was one of the things that we did out of the gate, was work with landowners on the route and incorporate their feedback. So.
Landowner reaction has been
Positive.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, there were instances in our route that we had landowners that said, we don't want it. And we moved off of just about every one of those landowners that we could, or made adjustments. Like we've worked really hard with landowners.
Okay.
There's quite a few public meetings or landowner open houses. They're listed in the application as well. Kind of all through the time period 2022 and then 2024, 2025.
Yeah, we host annual landowner dinners, and everyone comes. It's pretty amazing. We have about 88, 89% turnout of landowners participating in those dinners each year. So it's been really positive.
Do we have anybody from the public that wants to give any testimony in favor of or against this project? No?
I do have one of those binders at home, and I read it from cover to cover, so.
I appreciate that. We hear often that no one reads them.
We like to have them read.
Nobody has anything they want to say? If there's no further testimony, I'll close the public hearing on the CUP number 1078 at this time. We'll deliberate. Do we have a motion to approve CUP 1078?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And
Is
just
it a
commission meeting
it's a-
in 2 weeks.
Okay, because this is like a recommendation to the. Okay, that's what I figured.
Good. February 10th is the,
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
We're going to move to the planning and zoning bylaws discussion.
You're not going to the ordinance discussions first?
He wanted to take a phone call.
Oh, I see.
So he wanted to
Okay.
step out for a minute.
Is there any changes made or anything?
the yellow
Yellow.
highlighted
Yellow.
portion are the changes from the last meeting. Page 2,
We've added.
how the regular meetings can be canceled due to acts of God, extraordinary conditions, or other extenuating circumstances. And then number 2 on the meeting attendance and conduct after the discussion. So if the wording needs to be changed, please let me know, because I was just going based on your guys' recommendations.
Back in school. Now you need an excuse.
Highlighted portions look okay to me. I don't know if anybody else needs any changes.
I guess we have to vote on this at some point in the county
We'll have
commission.
to go through the same process as everything else. So public hearing for comments and then go to the commissioners for final approval. So ultimately, this is nothing set in stone until the county commissioners. approve.
Did you print anything for the additional public comment policy? The reason I asked, I have 2 bylaws.
Did not get to those ones. That's something that needs adding.
Well, I didn't,
Well, there's something in here about conduct of person appearing before the planning commission, so. Opportunities to speak and.
did you print something for the permit fee?
I think it's in that paper clip window. That's what we have.
Yeah, I think I have that.
It's in here. We want time to go over the bylaws and come back to the next meeting to determine moving forward, doing changes, additions. Or do you want to schedule, excuse me, a public
Yeah, I mean, that looks good to me.
hearing for them? Looks good to me.
So do you want to set it for February?
That's what she does.
Sure.
So yeah, do we need to vote on that?
No.
Right.
Just, if we're good with moving forward with it, I will plan to get the notice and schedule it for February. It's the last one in that paper clip on that goes with the permit.
Yeah, I've got that one right here.
No, this one. The permit fees. It's in the last part of this bundle of 4 documents. It got put in there.
Oh, the cut fees thing.
This one, yeah.
Schedule that for February, and we want to move to the permit fee adjustment discussion.
Were there changes here?
There are no changes on the, this is the current schedule
Okay.
as it stands. At the last meeting, there was discussion of changing the industrial conditional use fee based on some discussions with Commissioner Dave Berger about rather than the,
What'd you say?
I'm sorry. There is a typo on this one. The actual conditional use permit fee, which we did approve, is actually on the application that we reviewed. It's 1/10 of 1% of the total cost of the project, or $200, whichever is greater. If you look at the permit that we had earlier, these are the current fees. It's, I know, rather than the 1/10 of 1% of the total cost of the project, plus $1 for every acre over 10 acres, the recommendation was, can we look at doing a 3% of the total cost of the project? And then, I believe broken down based on, when the permit got approved at the local level and the PSC level and prior to construction, and then possibly an administrative fee that is non-refundable, due to the work and time that it takes for the board and staff to go over the permits. So, I know Matt had kind of written up some suggestions, and that was the last page in that packet that was paper clipped together as far as the changes. This one. And I believe this was based off of what Emmons County currently has. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is based off of Emmons.
Where did you say? It's in the paperclip packet. It's the very last one. It's like this.
Oh. I just need to read.
I think I was
Because it's conditional use practice.
And you wanting to change it to what? Is that?
The request or the recommendation or discussion point Dave brought from the last meeting was 3% of the total cost of the project, which I believe Emmons County currently has. I think there's a couple other counties that have something similar, some type of similar structure set up, instead of 1/10 of 1% of the total cost of the project.
Don't have it?
Ordinance,
It's right here. Here, I'll switch it.
Doesn't mention. That was
It's
just
just right on the
Administrative.
discussion based on last month's. I know we had talked about it, but it's ultimately what the decision is and it is up to you. And then if the commissioners would decide something different, and then they get the final call on that one. So I'm just bringing this up since it was talked about last time.
Are any of these refundable?
I would guess it's based on approval, so if they would not get approval from us or the PSC or whoever, then the amount would, they wouldn't, I mean, they have to just not pay it, or we would refund it.
Well, this says here that it'd be 25 due within 30 days after the board, county commissioners approve the conditional use permit.
So if it's not approved, they would, I mean, there's nothing in here about an administrative fee, which I feel, regardless of approval or denial, time is still put in by you as the board to hear a permit and by staff to kind of get prepared, so something.
Do you have any idea what it costs to hold a meeting like this?
What was it, 500 or 400 that one day?
I had it figured out. We had one special meeting.
I think it was like 400 or 500, if I remember right.
That was just actual costs.
Right. I mean, But that's
That
for
was
like
just
the
That
meeting,
was just the board members, that
Yeah.
wasn't,
like us looking
You
at it
too.
and
it was
doing
just the
stuff,
actual
so it was
board
about
members.
400. And that included mileage and everything like that.
That was board pay and mileage.
Mhm.
Oh no, that's it.
That's
That
it.
didn't include the extra
prep
work
work.
and preparation, no. And doing an odd dollar amount like $458.20 really isn't realistic, but, just as a note, we don't list the permit fees in the ordinance. They're only on the application. It's just, I mean, that's where the fee schedule is on the application. It's not put in the ordinance. If we would change that, I don't think there's an issue with that, but, then to change the fees, we have to do the entire ordinance amendment where I think with the fees in the past, we've always come to a meeting, talked about them, recommended to the commissioners, and it's just been this
Quick.
meeting, that meeting.
Yeah.
How would you decide on a administrative fee? What would be a reasonable?
How long does it take to go through something like that?
Depends on what's going on in the office. Once it's submitted, I mean, if there's a lot going on, takes a lot longer to go through it.
Well, and like Jane and I were talking today, I mean, what we look for is just, they have this, this, and this. I mean, we check off, it looks good.
If we notice something a little bit, then we make note of
Yeah.
that, but I
I mean,
mean,
it's.
ultimately, it's up to you guys to decide if these permits are
Mm-hmm.
complete or not.
Well, right, but we also want to make sure that the time you guys spend in the office is, compensated
That's
for.
fair.
So I guess do we want to keep this as a draft and try to figure out an administrative fee or do
I
some
can
rewording to
Go
where,
do some math after tonight's meeting, and we can revisit next month.
or we could come up with a, I don't know, I guess a possible percentage. That, like this says, depending on the scope of the project and how much information it contains. One could take an hour and one could take 3 days.
A house takes a little bit less time to review than a big industrial project or
Right.
commercial project or something like that.
Now, would this be throughout, like even your building permits and everything? You guys wanna?
This is, according to what this says, it's purely for conditional use
Conditional.
permit fees would be the only change at this point.
Okay.
It says for major industrial projects,
Right.
doesn't say for.
That's what I thought.
It's
So
Right.
not
I
for
was just
residential
wondering.
or
Right.
commercial or anything like that.
So
just-
they would still use the existing.
Right.
And those permits usually, I mean, not a binder per se, but a little thicker,
A lot more detail.
a lot more detail that they have to include, so.
We'll just add it in and we'll look it over in the next meeting.
Can I just make a suggestion? Like, at least do the 500 because that's what we've already figured out for just the meeting. And then administrative fees, I was just thinking like 250, because both her and I both look through them and stuff. So there's 2 sets of eyes instead of 1.
And then we also need to take into consideration that after we do it, it's gonna move to the county commission and there's gonna be more.
Right,
people in
I'm just
time.
saying, like, just thinking about it.
Right.
Like, our end of it.
Well, we want it to be, we want to get paid for their end of it too, because
Yeah,
once
right.
it moves to the next step.
Right.
I will run some numbers and we can talk about it at the next meeting.
Is that it for other business? Move back to the ordinance discussion. We'll start with the solar facilities. We need to set a first reading date and a hearing date.
The only thing I noticed on the very back page, we have an indemnification portion, and it references section 21, subsection 21.9, which is a part of the ordinance, but it doesn't have an indemnification, so I think we need to remove that.
What's that?
That's century code. No, that's referencing a part of our county ordinance. And I went and I looked for it the other day and it didn't make sense as to what it was referencing, so.
So you're gonna have to change the reference.
I don't know that there's anything to reference. We don't have anything specifically saying indemnification
A
in the
clause of
general.
protection.
There's, I mean, the indemnification clause would be that there specifically,
it's
and
fine.
not, we would just remove the highlighted portion, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, I have made the changes that you as the board had talked about and requested, so unless there was anything else that you had seen between the last meeting and now,
Guess we want to put this one on the February meeting too?
if everybody's ready for us to, then yes, I can get that scheduled also.
Get it in the paper middle of February so then we can,
I will actually send it to them probably tomorrow or Monday morning so that they have ample time to get it in there and I'll request approved so we don't have an issue.
Mm-hmm. Make sure your vocal cords are ready. You do a good job.
next we have the direct air capture CO2 collection facilities discussion.
And again, on that one, I made the changes that we talked about at the last meeting. I think I had, highlighted the one spot in here, because I think it said like, at the very end, it was like 3 years, and we don't have a 3-year conditional use permit deadline, it's 1 year, so. Other than that, do you have any comments
No.
on there?
No, I have no
It's
problem
not at this
with
point.
that.
Comments?
Does anybody
And it would
have
be
any?
1 year. Take out the S. Jaden.
Oh, yes.
Should we put that they can do an extension or?
Didn't the one we just approved for North Plains Connector have a no set time in it? She mentioned that. I'll have to talk to him about it.
I think, didn't she say something about the reason they wait to do it is because some places it expires?
Which we have
Okay.
for 1 year. And then
Right. So they didn't apply
We've
for it earlier.
previously done extensions
because-
if they're running behind, so long as it's approved by both the planning and zoning and county commissioners.
But I'm just asking, do we put it in here like that or do we just leave it?
It's 15 days.
leave it in there.
Do we add, we don't have anything in there about requesting extensions, so that's the question. Do you
Yeah.
want to add something about extensions being allowed, or do we just leave wording as is, and if they ask us, then we cross that bridge? Okay.
I think it needs to be specified.
I was gonna say, just suggesting, unless an extension is requested. You know, I mean, just adding something. Short and sweet.
I'll make those changes and then we can figure it out at the next week. That sounds good.
Now, should we move on to the wind energy facility amendments?
Who brought these amendments forward?
I did. Based on previous discussions that we've been having about disregard for the land and the roads, and
We talked about it.
a lot of citizens of the county have brought up some way to have more control over what's happening.
You know, we just approved the wind ordinance. I've got a problem with amending it already. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me.
I would say that the reason for the amendment would have probably been how the last 9 months of 2025 went. Everybody's ability to be able to watch the Facebook videos and the YouTube videos and see what's actually going on. Not everybody has the opportunity to come in here and say anything or be a part of it. Obviously, everybody in here knows that most of your socializing is done outside of a 2-hour window for a once-a-month planning and zoning meeting. So, it's, if you remember, we had a team of 6 lawyers in here from NextEra handing us a copy of a rewritten ordinance that we had drawn up, telling us what we needed to change and why we needed to change it, and the precedents, and that's why they had their attorneys in here. It was really unfair to the citizens of Oliver County to have part of their government organization confronted by outside attorneys in that type of situation. If you remember, they monopolized most of the time at the meetings with their presentations and their handouts.
I thought it was very good.
Oh, it was good. It
explained
was good
everything.
information. It was definitely good information, but it was the way that was presented at general meetings instead of them showing up to be the resource for us to help us design and to draw up amendments to protect the citizens. They didn't do it that way. They came into our regular meetings being disruptive, and when they had 6 and 8 people in here from NextEra, it limited the amount of time that citizens had to speak up. And it, if you remember, it was this person talked for 8 minutes, this person talked for 20 minutes, and it was very disorganized. So nothing ever really got accomplished. I was here. Most of the people that were, I guess, in the conversations seemed to disagree with whatever their attorneys said. And now that people have, sat at home over the holidays and had discussions and had family members come over, and, there's been a lot more time to review what's happened in the county over the past year. And that doesn't even take into account the disregard for some of the stipulations in the road use program that, they every time they don't do something they said they were going to do, they have an excuse, or, oh, somebody told us this. Nothing's ever in writing. And the roadside agreements that have been going on in the past, we can't do that anymore. And that's why we have the list of people that want to talk. That's why we're setting time limits on people talking, is so whether you're a citizen of the county or an industry that has business in the county, everybody gets an equal time to say their part. Whether it's positive or negative, it should be fair. I mean, there shouldn't be any certain entity controlling the dialogue in any conversation when we all live here, we're all dealing with all of this. Everybody should have a say. Most of the people I talk to want these amendments.
I've never had anybody call and complain about anything.
Well, I guess I apologize that the people that you associate with don't talk about those things, I guess. I don't know. I ask a lot of questions to people when I engage with anybody in this county. And usually it's about the things that are going on. And, I'm not talking about Uncle Bob, how's he doing now? And I don't have those conversations. The conversations, because I'm on the planning and zoning board, are what's going on with this ordinance? What's
So
going,
have
why is this
they've all seen
happening?
the amendments here in the crowd?
I don't know. I mean, we have them on the table. We had a handout.
And maybe they want to start talking. That might help.
No, that's fine. And that's why I originally asked for the public comment period, so that we could have a list of, okay, we have 12 people here that want to talk about this topic. Now I can pull out the list and those 12 people can talk.
Can they sign this now?
Yeah, they could sign it whenever. It would be more formal, and it would be easier to have a structured meeting if they did it at the beginning when we had the open discussion about filling out the form, instead of filling out the form and having the pause during our discussion.
Another thing that would be handy if we got this material ahead of time, not the night of the meeting. That
Again,
would be a
I
lot
guess
better.
I'm not, I guess, the guy that makes the copies and hands them out, so.
Do we have to sign up just to ask questions?
Well, I mean, if you want to be a part of the dialogue in here, I think it would be a good opportunity. And the state is making a requirement. They just implemented the law last year in the legislature to where we're required to have citizens sign up with their name and their address, because if you don't live in Oliver County, you don't get the opportunity to speak unless you have business pertaining to items on the agenda.
You know, the way I remember it at our meetings before we did the ordinance, there were very few public comments, and these meetings are advertised. Everyone could
Yeah.
have come and
Everybody's had an opportunity.
they
No,
had
and I
the
get that.
opportunity for input. So to come after the fact and
Right.
complain, I have a
It's too
problem with
late,
that.
yep.
Yeah, I guess I kind of agree. I do have some opinions about the lack of engagement from the community until something happens that they don't like. But again, I think everybody should have a fair say in all of it.
And you said,
And rather than just a few that have something to gain out of it show up because they have that. Not everybody has that ability to just, come here when the meeting's happening.
You know-
That's why we put it out publicly, is so that people can look after the fact.
you know, you say the people you talk to are all in favor of these amendments. You must talk to other people than I do, because today I was on the phone for hours and it was people concerned about this, saying
Yeah, because it's all
it
people
should
down
not
there
be
that are
done.
signing leases for it. It's not the people that aren't involved.
Well, that's their private property.
No, I understand
Yeah,
that.
they can
And
do
it's,
with it what
again,
they
it's
want.
amendment. This is a discussion for the amendment for everybody. There's nobody in here trying to say, oh, we're voting on this and this is gonna happen, you're not getting anything. That's not what this is. This is a discussion for anybody that has positive or negative to say about it. So the fact that we're getting disputes just creating this document from our own board is quite discouraging. You guys should want to represent the community wide rather than a select few that are calling you and talking to you for hours.
That's what you're doing.
Nobody has called me and said, hey,
No, but you said you're
what's
going
with
with
the
the
amendment?
complaints, though.
What do you mean
You're
I'm
going with the
going
ones
with
that
the
are complaining.
complaint?
That's why you're creating this amendment, because people are calling and complaining to you.
No, it's not necessarily a complaint. It's voicing their opinion about it. Not all of it's
Well,
a
I guess they're
complaint.
voicing their opinion to Bill too.
Because there's other things involved than just, I don't want a windmill or a wind turbine by me. There's the comprehensive plan. Again, I'm on that steering committee as well. In 1976, when that original comprehensive plan was laid out, this county was laid out as an agricultural county. We're working on the current comprehensive plan going to 2050. There has been no community engagement about changing the comprehensive plan from 76 to now and changing the original idea of this being an agricultural rural community. So why all of a sudden, when people want to follow the comprehensive plan that was laid out by public input for over 50 years, and now we want to disregard the comprehensive plan that is kind of the template and the design for how the county intends to grow, whether it be with income and jobs or agriculture. So we're just trying to stick to the comprehensive plan and what the county is about. This is an agricultural county. I mean, the wind
And
turbines.
energy as well.
Well, see, you say energy, but what energy specifically,
The power plant,
right?
the mine.
Mhm.
I maybe shouldn't say it, but Oliver County really does not have a lot going for it. We've got the power plant and the coal mine. The
What's the winter? Yeah.
global warming people would like nothing better
To shut
than
it
to
down,
shut
yeah.
that
Oh, for
down.
sure.
And it will shut down in time. So what are we gonna replace that tax revenue with?
And where do we get most of our revenue from now? Isn't it wind?
No,
It's not?
no.
What is it?
We'd have to look at the numbers, but wind is not the major contributing. It's mostly
I did
property
a-
taxes.
I did a,
Taxes,
yeah,
yes.
I did a calculation, and with the taxes that Bison 1, Bison 2, Bison 3, and then the proposed for Bison 4 are putting out, they're paying $1 million in taxes to the state of North Dakota. We get 3% of that, which is 30 grand. That doesn't even pay a year's payments on 2 scrapers.
I have a spreadsheet at home where all the payments are listed in. I can't,
Where is this
I
at?
can't agree with you.
Where is this?
I could have brought it
I'm
along,
pretty good
but,
with searching public databases, and none of those finances for these wind energy companies are
For
public.
just the county specifically,
Yeah, I would like to see
Laura
it.
and I did a spreadsheet and numbers based on revenue brought in from wind and coal and the other industries. For the county as a whole, once that gets broken down to the different levy entities, those are different numbers. So it's not just the county, it's the schools, it's the fire, it's the ambulance, soil
Yes.
conservation.
Yeah.
It may be $1 million, but the $1 million isn't going to the county's fund, it goes to other entities as well. So I'd have to get the
Yeah.
spreadsheet
Right, and
That's
according,
probably-
and that
That's-
would have been based on numbers from 2024, so
That's probably
does
the
it
same.
include new projects?
where are those numbers, I guess?
I
If
can-
you have them, they must be public or somebody gave them to you, right?
I think we
Nobody's
got 'em.
sharing them in here.
I think we're talking about the same spreadsheet.
It's called the
Jaden.
Red Book. It's called the Red Book. The state puts it out every year.
Okay,
The
is
numbers that
it,
you're looking for. are in
okay.
red.
Well, I guess
The blue book?
in my.
Blue Book?
The blue
What is
book.
Red Book?
No, it's the blue
It's
book.
Blue Book?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just received mine.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess I'll just be honest about it. I feel like everybody thinks this is Matt's idea and Matt's implementing the plan to take over your county and shut down your wind energy income. No, this is based on a lot of input from a lot of people that have watched the videos and seen what is going on. So that's
I guess,
why.
let's hear what the
if I-
public's
if-
got to say.
No, 100%. And that's the thing. There's 2 of them, if you noticed.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is for a cap, and one of them is for setbacks,
Right.
because setback is a big thing to somebody that's not participating. So if we need to make a change, everybody in the county is not happy.
I won't go for it.
Well, and that's fine. That's why you're here, is to have that vote.
There's,
Yeah, I just lived here. You can go ahead. I apologize.
Well, talking about, where money goes, just speaking, I'm on the New Salem Ambulance Board, which now covers a pretty good chunk of Oliver County. We get a pretty good chunk of money from Oliver County right now. Before that, it just came from, tax money, land tax money. And now with coal and with wind, they make quite a different impact on what the ambulance is getting, and I'm assuming also fire district. New Salem Fire District also covers a big chunk of Oliver County. But we get some pretty good checks from Oliver County. It's second to, we cover Morton, Oliver, and then part of Grant County. And most of the money comes from Morton because the biggest area. Second is Oliver County with that area that's covered there.
And I believe
because of that, we were able to, we no longer, now we have to submit our budget, for a 3-year budget. You no longer have mill levies. So we were just able to lower our budget, which is gonna lower, it used to be mill levies. We were able to lower that going to the landowners right now with our next budget because of this money coming in.
And I
So
believe
it's got a big impact.
your levy, New Salem ambulance levy changed from what like Oliver County is because you organized as an actual ambulance district and went to the ballot so you can levy against the taxpayers. Where previously I believe it was split out where whoever had the highest district or highest coverage in the township received the most dollars. That's how it's currently set up for all the other ambulances in Oliver County, aside from New Salem, because you guys get to do an actual
but
levy.
before that, we were just a group of landowners that are in the New Salem Ambulance District. We were charged a mill levy for ambulance service.
Correct, and you still are
And-
on the tax statements.
Well, it's not a
But
mill
it's-
levy anymore.
it's still
But
a
that
mill
was
levy.
lowered right away 3 years ago. It went down. My cost for ambulance and my property went down. It's gonna go down again for what ambulance because of the amount of money that's coming in from these wind projects. There's gonna be more now coming up with a new wind project by Hanover there. So it has a big impact.
Correct, so the dollars for, that you as an individual have to pay has been decreased because you have the primary residency credit plus the energy dollars that are coming in, whether it's wind or whatever. Your dollars decrease because of how it's levied for, because realistically, counties don't have to levy for anything. You have to levy, it'll still always be a levy unless the state changes that and there's no property taxes. But how it's done is different because of the formulas that the state requires us
So
to
we put a
do.
budget into the state.
Yep,
And that
yep,
carries for 3 years.
yep.
And even looking forward into 3 years, we were, with the amount of revenue that we see coming in, we were able to lower that.
Mhm.
Which has a direct impact on every landowner in Oliver County.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree that the amount that's levied is different because of that.
Yeah. So if I'm limited to 3 minutes, I got a couple other questions. You're saying you're capping throughout the whole county, 225 turbines?
Yep.
Based on then, so is that's what, 1 turbine for every 1.8 miles? square
Here,
mile.
I got it. Here, hold on.
So is that taken into consideration the whole project? So if we have 200,000 acres, you can put in 10 turbines.
It's a total, it's a county-wide cap. So there's 462,360, or 336 acres in Oliver County. So with a wind energy density of 2,054 acres per turbine, that limits to 225 turbines.
Yeah, but even that is, not every one of those acres can you put a wind turbine on. So you got
No, it's-
topography areas where you could concentrate, 30 turbines within that. So that's my question. Are you limiting that to that square mileage?
It's the whole county. So it's based off of the size of the county and the population and the amount of industrial zoning there is. In the comprehensive plan, Oliver County is an agricultural county.
I understand that, but.
Right, so based on it being an agricultural county, we don't necessarily use all the farmable and usable agricultural acres is prime locations for the wind energy. So the cap essentially
But that's up to
forces
the
a limited
landowner.
amount. No, you're correct, it is up to the landowner.
So
but
if
it's
I
up-
got agricultural land and I wanna have turbines on it, I can choose to have, I should be able to, on that 20, if I have, 4 sections of land.
No, I
can
agree.
I should be able to put what they say I can put on. If I don't want them, I say, no, I don't want them.
But the neighbors and the people, other people that are using the road have to deal with your wind energy issues too.
It is private
Well,
property.
If I had
The
a
roads
well,
are not
well,
private
they'd have to
property.
put up
No,
with it
but
too.
if they want a wind turbine, they can have one.
I mean,
If
that's,
you take
again,
people's
that's
private
your
property rights away
opinion.
from them, you just,
I myself
You
am,
have that power right
don't
now,
have an
so
opinion on it.
why have a blanket policy? I mean, every time a wind tower, a project comes in, people have the opportunity, if a homeowner's opposed to it, they have the opportunity to come in here and oppose it if they want. Same thing with, if you don't like, the board has always had that opportunity to say yes or no on a project.
Right?
Why are you putting stipulations in that now? You have this power to do this already.
Because well, I haven't, because I haven't been
The
on
board
the board
does.
about a year. Right, but there was a lot of circumstances prior to the past year that allowed a lot of things to happen that nobody had any control over either. A lot of people in the county want to take control of where they live at. So I mean, this isn't necessarily a discussion about anybody having an opinion about what you put on your property. It's a discussion about community-wide what the beliefs and the lifestyles of the people who live here have to deal with. I mean,
Well, I don't hear
let me
a lot
ask
of
let me ask you
farmers
this: when is
arguing
enough
about
is
where
enough?
these wind towers are.
the
So
only
you say
people that are arguing
agricultural
is the ones
land.
that don't have them, and it's jealousy is a major part of it.
Well, I'm not jealous. I'm in here speaking for other people, and if that's what it boils down to, is somebody thinks it's jealousy.
Private property
That's
is private
possible. I
property.
mean, that's the way
Yeah.
people are.
But people's private property is their private property.
I understand that, but this isn't about you can't put it on your property.
You know, you're
This
putting
discussion-
limits. You're putting limits.
I'm not putting limits. Things were suggested, I put it on paper and brought it in front of you guys for public discussion. I just don't say aye.
So one last question, if this were to be put into place, I didn't have time to go through this all, is that gonna affect the current, or what is not real clear as far as projects that are gonna be trying to meet that 2027
Right.
deadline? Are they
What's the 2027 deadline?
mandate right now as far as when these projects can be completed?
In order to get their subsidies and their tax credits back?
Yes. Tax credit.
Right, well, I don't, that doesn't have anything to do with our way of life in Oliver County, their tax situation's theirs, that doesn't have nothing to do with me.
Well, because as far as these projects, are any projects that are in play right now, they just pull out because they don't know what's gonna happen?
But that's entirely up to them, it's a free world.
They've
I'm not
been-
here to make those decisions for an energy company.
This is making the decision right here.
It is,
No,
yeah.
it's an opportunity for people to vote on something. If you say no, then you vote no. It's that simple. I don't, there's nobody trying to force any law or changes on you. People suggested things, a document got drawn up and presented to the board. I am just standing behind the principles and the context of what I'm being told. I agree. You should be able to do anything you want with your land. I totally agree with that.
Well, when these were
But why
originally
does the
set
company
up-
that you chose to sign a contract with gets to totally degrade the rest of the infrastructure and overwhelm it for your turbine? That's what we are trying to cover
But
here.
I was on the board when these were originally put into place, these setbacks and everything else. We had hearings on all of that. That's when this stuff all came into play. What the setbacks were from residents, what the setbacks were from other, and yes, there's always been some controversy as far
Right.
as landowner that didn't get it and that did. I don't have a wind turbine. I got wind turbines, I go on top of my hill, I can see 350 of them.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, but that landowner has the right, if you have a group of landowners that get together, decide they want to do that, I don't see how you can.
Well, I
and
guess,
that's where
and again,
this has been this way for.
I agree with you, but
50
you're
years.
totally disregarding the rest of everything that goes along with that project. Totally. Have you driven out on those section lines and seen, going back to 2007, back to some of this Bison 1 and look at the condition of the areas around there. Nothing has
Yeah.
gotten better. Nothing.
And why is that?
Because the wind energy company don't stand behind the road use agreements or come in
And
and do
why don't
any.
they?
Probably because in the past, we had county commissioners that would have roadside meetings and be like, yeah, you're good. Go ahead, pack up your cranes and move out for the, I don't know what happened, I wasn't there.
Well,
But
since you
the
could
proof
correct
is in
that
the
problem,
roads. The proof is in the
Mr. Chair,
roads.
Can I suggest 3 minutes has been up?
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
Thank
I don't like the fact that it's I'm making these changes. No, I'm here representing people that live here. I just happen to be the guy that has the time to come in and talk about it.
You should represent the people that are in favor of this development.
So if it's
It should
90
go
people
both
out
ways.
of 1,800 people in this county, if 90 people have a contract to put a wind turbine on their property, we should disregard the other 1,710 people
If
that
it's their
live here?
private property, yes.
Well, I don't agree with that.
Why don't you let him talk?
Steve Frederick, I represent Danell with the Flat Rock Wind Project. Just a couple of things. Was here pretty much all last fall, and appreciate working with you guys on the ordinances that we came up with back then. Just some clarification. Not sure I totally understand the density factor. So is that one turbine per 2,000 acres? Or?
So it's written up as a cap. And yes, it would be, let me get that document from you again. It would be one turbine for every 2,054 acres in the entire county. So as you can see, drive out there, you'll see the lights, right? You know that's a lot more in one area than 2,054 acres. This is a county-wide cap. I understand that we're focusing on this 2,000 acreage count and your property that a landowner may have. This is not based on any one person's property or property lines or leases or anything. It's based on the county line that goes all the way around the whole county and the industrial permitting and construction that is happening within the whole county. Not just that corner or your land or his land. It's countywide. So in order to make it fair, it was done countywide.
But
And
the
the-
landowner pays the taxes too.
What does that have to do with
Well, they-
everything else?
It's their private property. They pay their taxes on their private property. I think they should do what they want with their private property.
And then the rest of the citizens and the taxpayers have to pay to keep the road fixed after they tear
Well,
it up.
they pay it too. Everybody pays it. I don't
I
have a
don't
wind
wanna pay
tower.
for it.
I don't like them, but it's private property.
Well, I understand that. And again, you have the option to vote no.
I think you could come up with a road use agreement where you
Nobody,
could.
they didn't follow it.
Yeah,
How
but-
many times did we sit in here and how many times in the county commission meeting?
But like you said, that falls back on them guys. on-
Right,
on
and
your
it starts here,
commissioners.
so I'm trying to start it here to have the protection when it moves to them.
Okay. Just.
And you were here last year.
Yes.
You were here when the lawyers were here, so you know what I'm saying
They were
about being
fine.
over. What
I
do you
don't-
mean they were fine?
Yeah, why do you think that they were so pushy or
I'm not saying they were, I didn't say pushy.
what were you saying?
I said that they
Aggressive
I
or-
said they rewrote our ordinance.
They helped
They
us.
helped you. They rewrote it. They didn't sit in here and teach us about wind energy and stuff. They literally rewrote it and redlined it like a lawyer would. And then they handed it back out.
Lawyers too.
And they handed it back out to us
I mean,
and they
I'm a
went
lawyer. I
through
have
it.
nothing nice to say about lawyers either. So.
Right. Well, in being an attorney, is it true or not true that when you go through a contract or a document and you want to make changes, you make red lines and you make suggestions off to the side as notes so that when you present it to the person that you're negotiating the contract with, you have that dialogue in front of you. That's a standard practice. They did that in here in a discussion.
And we
They
asked them
didn't
to come to the table. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we asked them to come to working meetings so that we could have resources. They showed up to regular meetings with attorneys and monopolized the time. I remember that. You may not have been here because you're gone quite a bit.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Okay.
I was here when they were here.
No, that's possible, but I'm just saying you might not remember.
It just,
I remember.
one turbine per 2,000 acres is,
Because as of right now, you know, a lot of people look and ask me questions, and I do research and check. Oliver County has the highest density of wind energy in the entire state of North Dakota.
yeah, that's based on the wind resource.
Let's let him talk.
The wind resource is really good out here, that's why you have that. So. That's why you have a coal mine, because you have coal resource, you have a wind
Yeah,
resource.
I get it.
So,
Again, I'm
That's
representing
your- that's
citizens
your
of the
number.
county, not my personal opinion.
I hear you, yep. Permitting fee, that could get a little expensive at the rate that you want to go up to. Could add up to be millions of dollars versus thousands,
That's kind of the idea.
but I guess that's to push wind projects out. Just wondering, so we've been working with a lot of landowners, and we're in the middle of our process of getting our permitting done. We've done a lot of surveys and studies up to this point. We've paid a lot of lease payments, so we paid a lot of money into this project. So just wondering, based on what you've got here, do we have to start canceling land
Again,
leases,
this
or do
is
you
just a
want to?
process. I'm not in a position to make any comments on that because
Well, that's what's
I'm
going
not
to
the
happen if
decision
we have
maker.
to.
Well, that's how business works, though. I mean, I'm a business guy. I own a company. I invest time for engineers to develop a project, and then find out that the customer wants to do something different, and then, yeah, I eat 10 grand on an engineer and an architect, you know, to build a construction project. It happens. It's the way business works.
It's just the fact that
No, I get
you're
it.
taking income away from the landowners that have signed.
I'm
those.
not trying to do anything. I'm presenting the material to a board in a public forum so that people can have open dialogue.
Okay, I think you're incorrect.
I was nominated to the position. I was not elected. Sure. Oh, you didn't sign up before, I didn't know.
Daniel, your question is a question.
Yes.
I'd like to, I signed up already, Tim Dolls me, but I live right in the middle of all those, you know, the whole cluster of wind towers out there. And if anybody wants them within a mile of their place, come out to my place and listen to them. It is very disrespectful for the landowner next to you if he's gonna put it a quarter mile from my house.
Mm-hmm.
Everything around me is a mile away, and our yard just echoes. Now, if you want to put them a quarter mile, good luck. You know, you will not live next to your neighbor.
I might not know where you live or experience what you experience, but in the past year and a half, I spent a lot of time driving out on these back roads in the middle of the night, on Sundays, when the construction crews are out there. I know what it's like out there. I mean, again, I want to see and experience the complaints I hear. I understand the revenue aspect of a landowner doing whatever they want, but can you put a feedlot without a permit? No, you can't. So there's limitations to what somebody wants, I guess, I believe, when it's to the effect of everybody else. I guess that's the thing, that there's a difference in people's opinions and their perspectives on the way things should or do work. And because we're an American, you know, and we have the ability to have our rights, to have our life and liberty and have our land, that doesn't mean that everybody around you should sacrifice their life and liberty for your revenue. That's just the way it is. I mean, ask Troy how he was able to purchase the feedlot that got shut down. How did he get in the position to buy that property? Because a feedlot got shut down because 3 neighbors complained and it got shut down. I mean, there's a cause and effect here. And I guess what some of the other people that may not have the opportunity to come in here and talk about is, when is enough enough? I mean, we're at 225 now. The acreage of the county in the 2054 density calculation is just to try to put a number in a calculation so everybody can actually see that the county isn't really that big.
And they're only using agricultural land. They are not using pasture.
Right. And it's either because they live somewhere else or...
No, I
it's-
mean the wind towers now no longer can use pasture land. It's gotta be agriculture, cropland.
Right. So it's going to take away from the comprehensive plan of this being an agricultural county. And that's what it goes back to, is why aren't any of you guys that want the wind energy showing up to the comprehensive plan meetings and try to turn your idea and make Oliver County an industrial dystopian place so that you can all sit at home and get paid? Why aren't you showing up to those meetings, trying to change the idea of what the county is about? That's essentially what you're trying to do it on a smaller scale in the areas you choose to, rather than participating in the whole county idea. You want to just make choices about the small area because, oh, I own it. I can do whatever I want. I see that perspective. I don't think it's fair to everybody, but people are like that.
You know, Tim, what you said about your house or your yard, and then I've got 7 of them within a mile or a little better of my house. I very seldom hear them. I'm not going to complain about that at all.
Again, everybody's got a little bit different experience.
Yep.
Maybe because of the landscape or something, I don't know. But I don't hear them. And my hearing isn't all that great anyway.
I was gonna say, don't you hear?
Yes.
On your last comment, Michael Dahl, you say, on your last comment there, Bill, you do live in a hole. The wind towers are up high. Tim's my dad. He's pretty much on a level plane with the towers, as am I. To your previous comment before, you said that you haven't heard any complaints. A couple of months ago, I called you with numerous. And you basically summed it up that if I don't sign up for wind towers, I don't have any complaints. You're telling us that if we don't have wind towers, we don't want them. Or if we don't have wind towers, we're only complaining because we didn't get them.
Some people are, I do know that.
I don't want them.
I don't want to be.
I don't want them that close
That
to
could
my
be,
yard.
yes.
After I spoke with you, Bill, they're out there
Yeah.
drilling tentative sites. There's 7 tentative sites within a 3/4 mile of my yard. It's gonna be deafening. Why is your free income
I don't have a wind tower. I don't like wind
supposed to
towers,
get
but I'm going to people's private property.
imposed on our way of life? We like living in the country. We like living out there, wide open spaces. We like the hills, we like the sunsets. That's what we enjoy. I don't fully understand why the right to a wind tower should impede on all of ours. I would love to know how many wind towers are on Oliver County residents' property and how many of them went on out of county residents' property.
Absentee landowners.
Go ahead.
Along with that, it's not just the noise. How would you like to get up in the morning and push, the flash comes through your window constantly?
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. I get the shadows right
Yeah.
inside my house.
It's not that entertaining. The other big issue that goes along with it, we get to put up with construction issues for a year minimum, 2 years, 3 years. Like you said, maybe it was an issue in the past with past county commissioners, but how many section lines, roads, culverts, they did a lot of whatever they felt like doing.
That's what we see. Like you said, maybe it was roadside handshakes and go ahead, do what you feel like. But we are the ones that have to live with the consequences. Those crushed roads and culverts might not show up today, but when the wind towers are up and running and the company pulls out and the construction pulls out, we're the ones that are going to be left with the issues.
Go ahead.
Jeff gets from Salem. I guess to put it, yes, it's private property, but it's the same thing as we all go to your front yard right now and throw a big party. They just, yes, private property, but they come out, they got stuff sitting all over. Dealt with them all last year, parked in the middle of the road sleeping, trying to haul hay, you gotta go around them. I was actually gonna scoop them up in the loader bucket. And he's 300 feet from the approach, why he couldn't pull an American in half is beyond me.
Yes. And I apologize for my frankness, but you know, how would they feel if I buy a parcel out there and I build a strip club out there?
Yeah.
How are you gonna like? It's gonna be revenue. It's gonna generate tax income,
But no,
right?
Yep.
Why don't we do that?
But another thing is, you know, the county complains we don't have gravel. We can't find gravel. Well, now look at all the gravel that's going into all these roads and everything else. So we're supposed to, anything that's close to us, that's getting used up for the wind towers. What are we supposed to drive on in 10 years? What are we supposed to do when there's no gravel, when there's nothing else, but we got 700 wind towers to look at? It's no point of jealousy. It's we actually live in there, dealing with it. And until you live there and you deal with all the problems and see all the stuff, it is a nuisance. It is a complete nuisance. There's one that's 1.5 miles away from me. Yeah, when the wind is out of the north, I can hear that loud as day. It just sits in the yard, just echoes through the buildings. It just drives you nuts. 1 mile is too close to a yard, as far as I'm concerned. It should be further than that.
Yeah, the number I wanted was higher, but I was trying to be realistic.
Yeah, but no, I didn't look at all the other counties. They did their research. I watched videos from other countries where all these wind towers have been there for 30, 40 years. Go look at the mess, because these blades are only 8 years. They're supposed to be replaced. What do you do with them? You can't burn them. You can't get rid of them. You can't bury them. What do you do with them? They got piles and piles of these blades sitting around. They don't know what to do with them. Is that what we're going to turn this beautiful county into? Is just a big junkyard because somebody wants to make a free dollar and doesn't want to work?
It's exactly how they talk about Oliver County at the legislature. It's like we're a landfill.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the carbon capture. Why are you going to put carbon capture? Have you watched any of the videos of the carbon capture pipeline
We're
popping
getting
in?
off track.
I understand that, but it's a reference to the cause and effect of things. And the wind turbines are a cause and effect.
You might not see it right now, but eventually, like I said, with everything, eventually it's going to be a huge problem.
It's already a huge problem.
It is, yeah. It's going to get bigger.
Anybody else?
Go ahead.
I guess I'll add further. I'm Chris Simon, resident of Macomb. And to add, Bill, I remember you coming out to our place to look at some of our complaints from the construction last year. And I know I've talked to Matt a year ago almost, when he first got on the commission, about trying to start writing ordinances for the county. Because I personally dealt with the Public Service Commission pretty much on a weekly basis during that construction, asking them, okay, what you have this policy for this ordinance, there are the findings of facts. Can you do anything to pursue legal fees or anything for these companies? The public service answer was, we will not do anything until the county you reside in steps forward and does something. So then I looked at the county ordinances, and we did not have really anything. It was real generic. So the state won't even step in until the county does something to enforce any ordinances for setbacks or anything, even the dust out there and the road use agreements. Yeah, it was just too weak. So I think that it is a step in the right direction to have some ordinances to hold companies accountable for what they're doing.
That accountability part's always been hard. I mean, we originally tried to put some of those accountability factors into the ordinances, but then it kind of got pushed into the road use because the majority of it was the erosion, the roads, the weeds, and that aspect of it. And because the road use agreement is more like a contract with, you know, the road use agreement can be modified per whatever the project's needs are to make it stricter or less strict, depending on, you know, the negotiation of the road use program. And then once they sign that that contract for the road use, they're supposed to stand by it. But then what is our actual recourse for enforcing it? I mean, do we got to get the sheriff to drive out there and write them a ticket? And then that ticket gets brought to the commission, and then we have an evidentiary hearing in order to prove that they actually did this, because, you know, we've got the 120,000 pound truck on an 80,000 pound road, and we've got a picture of it, and, you know, now they've got to pay $3.2 million to fix a bridge because they did that. I mean, that's what we need to get in place. We need to get in the protections so that we don't constantly have people from the legislator coming in and just screaming property rights, property rights, property rights. Yeah, it's America. We all have property rights. But you can't just override everybody else's rights because of your property rights. That's not fair.
Can I add, Matt, as well, that the non-participating setback you have in there, I think is a good idea. Us personally, I guess we were non-participating landowner because we were a small parcel in the middle of the project. No one from the wind company once even knocked on the door until after the towers were in production. They didn't know we existed until we started raising a complaint to them, and then they're like, "Who are you? Why are you raising a complaint?" And then we had to basically show them the legal description of the landowner.
Right.
And get legal involved to threaten to sue them for trespassing.
It sucks that you have to go to that to protect your land from somebody getting a free check. Yes, Dave.
So, Dave Berger, resident. I guess I want to throw something out. I don't know if a lot of you know, but in the last year and a half, I've been doing a lot of homework, spending a lot of time at the auditor's and treasurer's office. I'm going to throw out a generic number of $1 million that, say, a wind farm brings in, or solar or whatever. So the county's going to get $1 million. Just so you know, Washburn School District and Fire District, Hazen and Beulah School Districts, Fire Districts, and Deb had said about ambulance, and that includes Glen Olin and New Salem. All them school districts, the fire districts, get a piece of that $1 million. So it isn't just coming out of the county. So say if we get 50, I think it's, I'm just gonna throw a number out, 56% actually comes out of our county. Well, that 50%, 6% is not gonna pay for the damage to the roads eventually. Been going to other meetings with state's attorney and commissioners from McLean County. You know, when we talk damage to roads, these soft spots, where do they come from? Not just heavy equipment, the farmers are doing it, everybody's doing it, right? But if we keep allowing all this heavy duty equipment, our roads are gonna break down. This 40-ton bridge out here, when you look at 80-ton equipment going over it, plus the semi, where's that bridge gonna end up in 10 years? Who's gonna pay for it? You know, it's gonna fall back in the county. That's why I proposed the 3%. It's not nothing that I say we gotta have, but Oliver County's a small county, not much money coming in. Where are we gonna get the money eventually? I've been down at the DOT meeting with our engineer to get the Highway 31 done, the Hensler Road done, and the golf course road. Well, we gotta come up with $1 million for that Hensler Road alone.
And look at our budget right now and look where the deficit is. It's
Yep, and we're in the
primarily
hole.
roads.
So, like I say, you use that generic number and say we get to keep 560,000. We have a hell of a year, and you guys all know what a bad year is like from 3 years ago, or 2.5, whatever. Where are we gonna get the money? So, and I'm gonna focus more on that bridge out 1.5 miles west of Hanover. It ain't gonna be cheap to do. Buck has had a good point this morning when he called. When a semi goes over it, not the whole load is sitting on it at once. But eventually, some of them track outfits. What did they weigh? Do you remember?
A lot.
70-some thousand, I believe.
And that was just the machine
Just the
itself.
machine.
So it's putting all that weight on the bridge. I do have a picture on my phone of a landowner, saw the water truck for dust control, sitting on the bridge loading the truck. Well, he's loading 4,000 gallons. That's 32,000 pounds of load without the truck. And so I just want everybody to realize that we're not getting all this money everybody's saying we're getting. You know, and it's every project that comes in. But I think as we try to work with these companies, I think we can do better. But we've had a lot of trouble getting some to get permits. In fact, we've got it going on in the eastern part of the county. We've got an outfit coming into a gravel pit. They're not getting their permits for their equipment. They're driving down the roads, then they call, or the landowner calls and says, a road looks like crap, washboarding, whatever. Well, we all know what semis do.
Mhm.
And it's not just a landowner, it's everybody. But that's all I want to say about that for now.
Go ahead.
I got some more to add. Even that project last year, you know, they were sucking water out of the creek. They almost dried it up. Everybody that was affected by that, nobody benefited from the wind towers. That was all goes that way. And the State Water Commission, that guy, I'm pretty sure he thinks chocolate milk comes from a chocolate cow, but that was a waste of time. While I'm monitoring, well, I'm like, well, what are you monitoring? Well, then even went down, they had bales stacked in underneath the bridge to hold the water back where they're pumping. I took pictures and I sent it to him. Oh yeah, I took pictures of that, but it's not affecting the flow. What do you mean it's not affecting the flow? You got the water backed up 3 feet now, it's running around the bales. Well, then we got a big rain after that and that washed all the bales out, which they're laying in the creek down there yet. It just, with all this stuff, you know, there's, like you said, there's no boundaries. They just do what they want. They come out there, they just make a mess. They throw their garbage around. They're just, it's just a huge mess. And we got to deal with it. And there's no benefit, and I don't want them either. I don't, after seeing the mess they make, I don't want them anywhere close. As far as I'm concerned, they can put them on a truck and haul them out to Minnesota where they want the power and fill their lakes in and stick them in there. But yeah, we got to think ahead here because, like I said, everything is going to be affected eventually, and it's already get affected, but it's going to get worse. Between water, gravel, all our stuff that we need to live, to make roads, to keep our lifestyle going for our next generation. The way we're going now, another 50 years, there's going to be nothing left for the next generation.
Agreed. And that's kind of why, part of the reason we're doing the new comprehensive plan is to update it for the next generation. And it's still staying an agricultural county. I mean, again, go ahead.
I guess I'll just add on Jeff's comment there of the water from last year. Did find out after the fact they were paying the landowners that they were drawing water from. They were paying them water rights basically for that, but they were not paying anybody downstream that was affected by no longer having water for their cows.
So they weren't paying for the water, they were paying for a place to pull in and suck it out.
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
because one of them was...
that would be illegal for them to sell the water that the
Yeah,
state
it wasn't the
controls.
water rights per se, it was they were paying
Right.
access to that water so they could suck out of there for their use, but not affecting anybody downstream. That, well, one of the landowners actually was upstream of where they were sucking, so he was never affected.
And we've updated some stuff to try to get some more protocols in there for checks and balances on the water usage. I mean, it's going to be a matter of people actually checking. I mean, if they're putting pumps out there and sucking water out, you know, we got requirements to where they've got to tell us where they are, put tags on it, who owns it. I mean, we're going to have to go out there and start checking these people so that we can catch them when they're doing it, not finding out after they're gone. Go ahead.
Like that Otter Creek, they were supposed to be permitted 10,000 gallons a day. They had 3 semi-tankers and 2 tandem trucks sucking out of there all day long. Well, 1 tanker is 10,000 gallons. And they had 3 of them, so that's 30,000 gallons. The other ones are probably, what, 4,000 or 5,000 gallons on the tandem trucks? So, and that was all day long. They were parked on there just filling and filling and filling. And state water, yeah, that was just a waste of time. You call them, like I said, you just Well, we're monitoring. Well, what are you monitoring? I don't understand what you're monitoring. Come out here and sit here and watch. That's monitoring. But no, it's, yeah, it's aggravating.
I understand. Go ahead.
At the beginning of the meeting, you know, it was pointed out that you guys had gone through the aggravation of already setting up a plan, and now it's proposed to be amended already. I think everybody talking in the past, as individuals, we've been run over. We try to talk with one person or another, and it all falls on deaf ears. And enough people have been stepped on in this county that we're just tired of it. Everybody has an endless list of concerns. Not everybody. Enough people have an endless list of concerns that this is why you're hearing more now than in the past.
Yeah, and I agree. I was here last year too. I was a part of the discussions, and again, I'm the chair, so I don't get a vote. I only get to vote if there's a tie. I don't think we did enough last year on the ordinances, but if you'll watch the meetings, there was other people on the board that wanted to hurry it up, speed it up, get the meetings done quicker. We want to go home. We don't want to be here till 8:01. We don't, and it was just that constantly. Every single meeting, it was nobody wanted to be here. Nobody wanted to participate. Nobody had anything to say unless it was property rights or we don't want to stop it. We don't want to make it any stricter. There was a lot of that. Again, if you watch the meetings, I did a lot of stuff with ordinances last year based on interactions with people in the community. And when it actually came in here and got presented, there was a lot of, I guess, from my opinion, I feel like there wasn't enough community input. You know, this is the most people I think I've seen in here besides when NextEra had their attorneys in here. And this is the most people have actually spoke up about this since I've been coming in here. It would have been awesome if we could have got this kind of engagement since I started, because we probably or would already had the cap in there last summer, or at least the setback changed. My first meeting here was very discouraging when a previous board member promised the energy company in the meeting that, oh, we're not going to change your setbacks, don't worry about that. And it's like, I did not understand that coming in as being a representative of the community, but then somebody on the board tells an energy representative that, oh, don't worry, we're not going to do this. I didn't understand that. But come to find out, I think some of those people, you know, may have had leases and contracts with the wind energy company. So later on, I seen the relationship in the conflict of interest. So I didn't understand it when it happened, but learned later. And I think that happened a lot prior to me coming on the board. I don't know. I mean, and just from, you know, Jody, not to put you on the spot or anything, but when we were talking about the moratoriums, there was a lot of, the legislator don't want it. The lobbyists don't want it.
I did not say any of that.
We asked who was talking about
I
us
have
not
not
doing
said
the
anything like
moratoriums,
that.
and you literally said in the meeting, I'll go back and get the video and I'll find it.
I'd like to see that.
You said
I
that
was
the
an attorney.
lobbyists were against the moratoriums.
I don't even deal with lobbyists.
Well, I mean, doesn't mean you don't eat lunch with them. I don't know, but you had said it. Go ahead.
So who came up with these, what do I want to say, formulas, figures, the cap?
It was I came up with them just using the size of the county, how many wind turbines there are, how much of the land is considered industrial, so using the coal mine. So I guess I have privy to some things that other people don't, because I'm on the steering committee for the new comprehensive plan. But we had some discussions during the comprehensive plan about enlarging the industrial footprint for zoning in Oliver County. but there really wasn't justification to grow it in the area that it's in because BNI is actually going in a different direction to get coal. So I kind of just made up a number, honestly, based on how much industrial zone land is already here, how much agricultural land, and I even included the water and streams in the calculations for the acres.
It's a starting point, though.
Exactly. It was a
Right.
starting point to come up with a figure to, I guess, create an ordinance that a majority of the citizens would like to see implemented so that they're protected. And it just happens to be, they have 225 turbines. The county has 462,336 acres. And in order to limit their, I guess. And it just happens to be. Oh, it's echoing. So yeah, I guess it just happens to be 2,054 acres per turbine in order to get a limit.
Now, there's 225 turbines. Is that how many are in the
That's
county
how many
now?
are built right now.
That's how many we have now?
Yes, according to the figures that Jaden provided me for the projects, yes, there's
So what you're
225.
proposing is that there would be no further development?
Well, technically, to say it correctly, the ordinance amendment proposes it, not I, but yes, you are correct. I drafted it.
You drafted it, yeah, so it is you saying it. What about
That's a
these
suggestion.
companies like Flat Rock out here? I talked to Austin Collins this morning, he called me. They have spent 4 years on that project.
Who did?
NL.
Okay.
And now we want to pull the rug out from change the rules in the middle of the game.
Well, I don't represent NL, they're an out-of-state
Well, we have a
energy
representative
company.
from NL
Well, I
sitting
understand
right over
that,
there.
I understand that. I'm here to represent the citizens of the county. If they lose $14 million because they got ahead of themselves and were pursuing the same line of income as other energy companies, that's their free choice. They chose to come here, they chose to spend the money.
They did not get ahead of themselves.
Well, I
So the
can't tell.
rules were in place when they started this. The rules are still
Well, I
in
mean-
place right now. And like I say, we want to change the rules in the middle of the game, and that's not acceptable.
Again, that's your opinion, and you have a vote to reflect that opinion.
Hi, can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I have my hand up. I'm not sure if anybody can see this. I'd like to go in order. This is Austin Collins with
Oh, no,
the Flat
we
Rock Wind Project.
Yeah, we don't have you on video, so we didn't know you had your hand up. You can go ahead, Austin.
Okay, yeah, I won't go on camera. Y'all don't need to see my ugly mug at this point. I think what our main concern is, we spent most of the last part of last year going through the ordinance, and I feel like we all got to a place where we were comfortable with it. I haven't seen these versions of the ordinance posted anywhere for us to review, but we're just concerned looking at what some of these rules are and what was discussed over the last meeting. We're at a point where we're getting ready to compile all of our applications and actually submit for the CUP. So this is, very concerning for us that we're at a point where we're ready to submit and now the rules are potentially changing. So that's where we're concerned with. I mean, we've been we started this project in 2019 and we started leasing in 2021. Was actively part of the leasing campaign and have met 85 to 95% of landowners at this point. We've got some folks in the room that are in support of the project as well. But I think that's my main concern is we just went through this for months and months of working sessions, and we were very thankful to be a part of the entire process. I think at the very end, anyways, that's what our concern is. And is any of this posted online yet?
I can email it out.
Yeah, that's outside of my responsibilities.
This is just a discussion. right?
Yeah, this is just a discussion at this point.
Right, but I mean, you guys see how quickly these things come together. I don't think I've ever seen regulations like that with maxing out the number of turbines in a hidden area.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but they do exist. Look for wind energy ordinances in Indiana. You can read all about it. They have minutes from their meeting too.
So we're going to Indiana and copying their...
No, we're searching America's vast knowledge of people's experiences dealing with industries that they have encountered and experienced, and taking their experiences and their knowledge to educate ourselves and make decisions before we get screwed like they did.
I think if we have to go 1,500 miles away to...
What's does the mileage have to do with making a decision?
I just don't get it.
Well, I mean, why do people send their kids to other states to go to college?
Over here again. So is this, the Hanover Wind Project, I don't remember the first two having this much controversy or anything. Did we just get a bad construction outfit, or?
I think it's been kind of ongoing, but there's just been a lot of, just to point this out, just to be quite frank and honest about it. We just had Bill sit here and say, oh, I never get any complaints. It's so great out here with all this wind energy. And we literally have two people in here that called and voiced complaints. And he sat here and said nobody ever complains.
I didn't say nobody ever complains.
So there's that perspective of that has gone on a lot with a lot of people, to where voices aren't always getting heard and opinions aren't always being shared. And when they are, by the time we get to a document sitting on a table discussing it, people have already had their minds made up somewhere else based on whether they're going to get it built on their property, or their uncle, or their relative, or their friend, or the guy they sit next to in church. That's where the decisions and the things are being discussed, instead of in here, until a document comes up. Go ahead, Dave.
I'd like to correct you first.
Okay.
I didn't say nobody has complained to me. I'll say the positive comments have far outweighed the complaints.
Okay, I apologize if I misspoke and phrased it wrong.
So Brian,
I haven't gotten
you're
any
talking
positive.
Oliver 1 and 2 up north? Okay, so all of them, or majority, are on pasture. You know, it wasn't in cropland, and the roads are there. I mean, I ride them every year with the Stagleys, the Bad Earharts. We ride every year, twice a year on them. So there wasn't the problem then, because they mainly used 1 and 2 roads to the east. And one would be past Brett Isaac's going to Wayne Stagley's, and that's where their laydown area is and where their office is now. So they didn't have as much area or road use that they had in these last two, or this last one. You know, does that answer your question? They didn't have the problems then, I don't think, and they didn't have as big a towers, didn't have as big as turbines, so they didn't have as big equipment that they have coming in now. And it's just like the average farmer. I don't know what the average tractor horsepower is now. Compare that to 10 years ago, you know, and everybody's gonna get bigger, and that's how the equipment is. And Ben, we talked not too long ago, the crane they had to bring in, they had to move it from tower to tower to fix some of the oil leaks. Well, they gotta move them, but they're big equipment now. And they were great about getting their permits. And that's all we asked. And I even had 2 landowners call me in the last, I don't know, what was that, last 3 months ago we talked? Where they had concerns about it. I called Ben, he verified that the permits were there, talked to Jade and Linda, and everything's good. But on the 1 and 2, yeah, way bit smaller stuff and not as much. You know, because there was 2 wind farms, which were, I think the first one was that, does anybody recall, was it like 40-some towers? I think there's 70
I'd
total
have to
over
go
there.
look in the files with every, I mean.
Yeah, whatever
I don't
it
have
is.
the numbers right in front of me, I'm sorry.
You know, that original one, I think, is what, over 15 years old already, because all the turbines have been replaced. I don't know if that answered your question, but.
Yeah, it was not a very good construction company either.
Oliver 1 is 22 and Oliver 2 is 32.
I don't know which one came first, but Bison was horrible.
And the Bison did, it went, I think Bison 1 would have been the first one.
This out here was,
Which
this
one is
went
that?
in before Bison.
Did it?
Yeah, it did. And I agree with you,
Right.
Michael. That was a mess out there. That road going east to me, that was, for all practical purposes,
Did they fix it up
impassable.
though? Is it okay now or?
It's okay now, yeah, but that summer was, I'm not kidding, I had 25 flat tires that summer on that road. It was awful.
Hey, this is Austin online. I've got my hand up.
Go ahead, Austin.
So I'm just curious of where this is going to go from here. Are you guys going to vote on this, or are you guys going to post
This
that?
is a discussion based on an amendment. The amendment is not gonna get voted on tonight. It's a discussion about it being created and what it means for everybody here to see and learn about it. I think the next step is gonna be probably discussing it further. Then we'll have to, just like we do with the other business, we'll have to pick a date to vote on it, and we'll have to put out a public notice and give people time to learn about it, and then have
Sure.
another.
And that was 2 hearings at planning and zoning and 1 hearing at the commission.
No, it'll be one, it's discussion, and then a hearing at planning and zoning, and then a hearing at county commission.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're still in discussion for at least 1 to 2 more meetings, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Potentially.
Okay. Okay. Is it possible to have this effective as of such and such a date so we can continue to move our project along? So it's.
I can't give you business advice.
That's not what I'm asking for. I'm saying in order for our project to keep moving forward, we would like to have some kind of assurity that we're moving in the right direction. We're well past this point of reviewing the ordinances together. We did this, the whole year last year, or 6 months of last year.
I'm an appointed board member. I can't give you an assurance. That's not in my legal ability. I'm just here.
Okay, I would just like to suggest that we make it effective as of a further date.
Make what effective?
Any new version of the ordinance based on wind projects or otherwise.
Austin, I'm just getting clarification from our state's attorney. You're asking that we make this like a effective date after you submit your permit application so that it's not affecting your application, correct? I mean, so
essentially,
if we
is there a target date?
have a hearing,
You're under no obligation to grandfather.
do we have to, I mean, I'm just asking if we can even do that. If we work on these and have a hearing and have it approved, it would go into effect immediately, I would assume, but I don't know. Can we set a date 2 years down the road where it's effective? Then why are we working on it now?
And you can do whatever you would like to do, whether it withstands legal challenge or not, I can't say, because I don't have a crystal ball.
Yeah, I guess
That's a tough question.
Yeah. I would generally say, just from looking at a few pictures from the ordinance in the room, we would be against the rules that are being proposed. So thank y'all very much. Look forward to working with you on this further.
Thank you.
I will say this. I will say this. You have an obligation as a planning and zoning board to make recommendations to the county commissioners based upon what you believe is in the best interest of the county. The commissioners are ultimately the ones that make the vote. They're the ones who make the decision. I'm being asked if you can essentially grandfather in, is what I think Mr. what's his last name? Collins. What Mr. Collins was suggesting, I think he's asking is, could this project be grandfathered in even if there is a change? Yeah, I think you could do that. I don't know if you should or you shouldn't, but I think you could. We often see things like that where, but you typically see those types of things in insurance contracts and things where you're changing, where someone who's already recognized the benefit shouldn't have that benefit taken away. What we're talking about is industry who's made financial investments, and the rules change. Is that fair or not? I don't know. But I don't think you're prohibited from doing that, and I don't think you're prohibited from grandfathering somebody in either.
Agreed.
Does that make sense? I mean,
100%.
Okay.
I just
Me.
wanted to clarify if it was or was not allowed.
There's no law that would prohibit you from making a determination that somebody would be grandfathered in or excluded. Whether a wronged entity would make a determination that they want to seek legal action, that could be a thing, but I think that's beyond the scope of what you're doing here right now.
And that's why I'm following the comprehensive plan, because that's going to be our protection against any litigation. Is we are an agricultural county. We have a plan laid out till 2050 to be an agricultural county. They want to come in and be predominantly industrial when the rest of the county doesn't want to be. So we're trying to write it in a way to where ultimately the citizens are protected from any, we just don't like what color they are. That's not a legal precedent in order to protect the county or the citizens or the land. But using the comprehensive plan would be. If that makes sense.
I'd like to add one thing. If we do change our ordinance like this, and let's say NL has to drop their project and NextEra pulls out, the word is going to be out that Oliver County is anti-development of any kind, and there's projects may come along. We don't know what's going to come down the road in a year, 5 years. There may be something we want, but they'll go elsewhere with it.
That's why this says wind turbine, not BESS, not solar,
Yeah, but
not
if we can,
data.
if we can change the rules in the middle of the game for wind energy,
It happens.
we can do it to anybody.
Well, yeah, you're right, we could, but should we have that foresight for the other industry for them before they even come here and try to protect them before they're coming here to hand out revenue? Is that what we're having a discussion about? Do you want us to look forward and think about other people might not come? I mean, we have the highest wind turbine count in the state. How are we not friendly? We're the most friendly, if you ask me. Yeah. And, we're, hold on one second. We have the coal mine and a power plant here. We know why they're here. They want access to these lines so that they can distribute it. And then with the tax breaks that they get and the carbon credits they get that they can sell off market to where it's not legally disclosed, who do you think's probably going to have privy to those carbon credits? Possibly Minn Kota. I mean, we don't have the lignite industry in here speaking up for themselves against the wind energy because it's a cycle of how they work together. I mean, ultimately that's what's going to happen. I mean, is that what BNI wants, is to be put out of business by natural gas or wind energy? I mean, how many people in the county live here, work at BNI? So, I mean, there's that aspect of it. Well, let's put in another 500 wind energy and then we'll just totally have no need for coal anymore and you guys can cover all your coal up with dirt and leave. I mean, is that what we're saying? It's a discussion, so go ahead, Dave.
So, a meeting that was up at Beulah, I'm gonna say 2 months ago, Jason Blum, he's with the EERC out of Grand Forks. The conversation with him, and EERC is doing a study right now for us. What we're gonna lose, say, more wind coming on or solar or whatever, it's gonna be less coal getting burned. Well, we have coal impact money coming in. That's gonna be less coal impact money that we gotta realize too. If they don't have to mine as much, or if Big Kota doesn't burn when they're down for almost 2 months, that's less coal being burned, that's less money we bring in. So, just a point of interest that you guys gotta think about too. Because some of you have worked at the coal mine. And we all had pretty good jobs with benefits off of it, or not the mine, but both the mine and the plant. But the coal impact money is what made Oliver County what we have. Our school, our courthouse, our civic center, the pool. We wouldn't have a lot of that if it wouldn't have been for coal impact. And now if we lose it, or lose some of it even, it's gonna impact. So when you have the money that wind's bringing in, or solar or anything, you gotta remember, that's gonna replace the energy from coal. That makes sense?
100%
I
makes
think your
sense.
hat's too tight.
It's like some people are willing to make that trade-off because they don't work at BNI, they don't
Sorry.
have land that has coal under it, and they don't work at the power plant. So the trade-off is, well, we can make money off of this. This is like anything. I mean, in any business, you go to where you can make the money.
Oh, great.
And
Can't take it.
and in all honesty, Oliver County has had the weakest ordinances in the whole state for years. And that's why the wind energy has come in and like they have, is because they pick the places that have the weakest ordinances. And I can almost guarantee you, and I don't care if you don't like me after I say this, but I can guarantee you, somebody at the Industrial Commission or the PSC probably said, well, go check Oliver County. They got, don't have ordinances for any of this type of stuff. There's that possibility.
I don't know.
It's
No,
hard.
I don't either, but we have
You're looking at me
225
like I know
winter.
the answer.
No, I'm looking at the crowd behind you because they keep raising their hands.
What you're saying is hard to believe because you drive through the state. We drive to Iowa or occasionally to visit family.
Mhm.
There is turbines everywhere. So it's
I'm not
not
saying
like,
they're not
it's not
everywhere.
like they're all being built in Oliver County.
In North Dakota, almost all of them are.
No, they're not.
Look at the statistics. Oliver County has more than any other county in the whole state. Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to make one comment about Oliver 1, 2, and 3. A lot of those, by being built on non-cropland, are roads among road among road. They're in a line, which is why they didn't use the county road to do that. They made their own road for 8 towers across the hillside. So that's why, like to Dave's point, it was such a minimal usage in Oliver County. But my point of why I signed the sheet is I am not pro alternative energy. Yes, my allegiance lies with coal because of the area that I live in. What I am anti is what they did to our land and what they did to other people's land and the way they basically used and abused it because they didn't care. At the end of their construction, they left. And I had people that worked for the energy company that built Oliver 4 that were proud of us for standing up for the land that we had because they said, ma'am, if this was my land, I wouldn't have let them treat it the way some of these people have let it be treated. And I think this is the first time and why you're seeing people finally feel comfortable enough to speak up at whether it's planning and zoning or the county commission. People are being heard for the first time in Oliver County, probably since 1976.
Yeah, I agree.
So who passed the ordinance? You can't put them on pasture anymore.
That's Game and Fish.
Okay.
Artifacts.
Artifacts.
Yeah, it's technical term is it's not just pasture, it's unbroken native grass they cannot be put on. So if it was disturbed back in the 40s or 50s and there's record of it, they can put a tower there even if it's pasture today. It just can't be native grassland.
I knew that, I just wanted to ask.
When Oliver 4 went to Game and Fish to try and get that changed, they didn't have any luck. I mean, maybe other companies will, but Next Era and Oliver 4 did not.
Go ahead.
Just sitting through this, I voiced my opinion, but what I'm seeing here is that you've got board members that are sticking up for the wind towers. And you guys are, some of you people would like to see wind towers more so than worrying about the rest of the people, I don't care if you want to have wind towers, but I like the setback. I will say that. And when the roads are all shot, I hope somebody's got money to repair them, because tell me when the last time the county built any roads, and when they're shot, they're shot. There's not enough money coming in to offset that. So.
One comment, when Verizon one went in, they used my road for a lay down yard for the power line. They completely ruined my road. I went directly to Verizon with that. They agreed to either fix the road or to pay the county to do it. The county chose to re-gravel it. County originally did, but it took 4 years before they would do it. They got the money right away. So my point is that, is there enough pressure being put on these companies to do what they say they're supposed to do? I mean, why should the county be paying for damage that's done by these units? And you gotta use some force to do it. And I'm not saying it was easy. It took, a little bit of time to do it, but like I said, my road was ruined, and they paid to have it. They had paid to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 culverts replaced on the section lines and on my main road, and then they re-gravelled the whole thing and built it up. The county did the work. Well, they didn't do all the work. They didn't put the culverts in that. They paid another company to do that because the county couldn't get at it. But they would have gravelled it right away. And I finally came to a commissioner meeting and said, either I'm calling Northern Improvement or whoever to come put the gravel down that you were paid for, or the county can do it. Well, and that week they came out and gravelled my road.
I would only assume that based off of some of the stuff I've learned in my time here, that it was probably worse back then with accountability than it is or has been for the past couple years. It's like the more and more they overuse people in the land and the roads, the more and more people are seeing it, the more and more people are coming forward and voicing their opinions, and now we're here. I mean,
Right, well,
that's
what I'm
where we're
saying,
at.
that pressure has to be put on these companies to follow their rules, and if, the next time they want to come and do another project, well, you don't allow them in because they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
It's pretty hard
That's
to
what you have the power as a county to say whether or not you want this, and that can also come from the people, landowners, and that type of thing. Whether, the power is there to do it, you're just not using it.
Well, it's difficult to exercise authority when you don't have the basis to do that, which is why discussions about ordinances come about.
And answer to Dad's question, we have totally rewritten the road use agreement. If you look at the one we had 3 years ago and look at the one now, I'm not gonna say it's solid, but I've had a guy from Eddy County call because they want to look at our road use agreement. They want to go by it. I think Ben's been aware of it, Kyle's been aware of it, Steve, they've all looked at it, and nobody has said it's gonna be a problem. So I think it's a good road use agreement.
The problem is they agree on it,
Well,
and everybody
previously-
agrees to do it, but it isn't enforced.
Well, I think now it will be, the way it's written. Now our legal can actually go after them and say, okay, it's in writing, here's what we want. So part of the road use agreement, sorry I've taken so long, is it's written now, so Moore Engineering, who is our county engineer, they will do a pre-road inspection. Then in the middle of the project, they're gonna go out and do another inspection, and then at the end. The previous one was the commission, or the road superintendent made the decision. Now it's gonna be Moore Engineering comes in and says, no, this mile has to be replaced or re-gravelled, like you're saying, or the soft spots. So now we have something to stand on rewriting it, which is, we were lacking. Every county was lacking.
And there's enforcing things when you create rules, and there's also prospectively looking at things to prevent problems coming down the pipe.
Matt?
Go ahead.
Mike, or Steve, do you know what Martin County's setbacks are?
They were the same as what we have in here, 1.25, the height of the turbine.
1320.
1,320 feet, yeah.
Okay, so I live a half a mile from the county line. They go 1,300 feet. I'm still gonna be within a mile if they put one on the other side in Martin County. So what does that do for
I think that would be a good question for somebody like you to go into Morton County and ask, because you're one of those unique people that live in a place like that.
I'm not the only unique one. There's quite a
No,
there's
no,
people
I'm just
on there.
saying that I'm not. I mean, a majority of the people aren't. There's probably, what, a handful of people that live that close to the line that would be affected like that. I would think that because your house is within whatever setback range for Morton County, that it would apply to you even though it's over the county line. I mean, that's kind of one of the factors, I guess, in my opinion. I don't know for sure, but again, referencing Troy and that feedlot that got shut down, that one was like right at the edge of the county line. So it's like, were the residents that made the complaint to get that shut down? There's one in Morton and two in Oliver. I don't know. So it's a weird area. I think that would be something that you would have to talk to Morton County about if they put it in their county.
Well, they don't allow these, what is there, 13 towers, 14 towers? They're going to squeeze them into Morton County. And Oliver County's not going to get anything.
I mean, like he had mentioned, I mean, they're getting all kinds of revenue from the ones that are already here for the ambulance service and stuff. Is it that we need more and more and more and more and more? Just continue to get the revenue that you've never gotten before now and use it accordingly. I mean, it's called budgeting. Everybody's got to do it. I mean, that's just a perspective. Again, that's my opinion.
Brian, I'm guessing the Morton County Planning and Zoning is next week, and I believe you guys, or somebody from Manel has already contacted them to get on it. So I go to them just to learn. And I've gotten to know all 5 commissioners just to, learn more about it. And that's what we gotta do as citizens. Go to these other meetings too. Go to McLean County, you'll find a whole different attitude. You don't find a wind tower in McLean County. Not to say it's wrong or right, but that's how they're handling it right now. And they got 3 commissioners just like we do. But Morton County is gonna get hit, I'm gonna say in the next 6 months, probably with 3 wind companies wanting to come in. So there's a lot to think about. Oliver County's probably gonna get a natural gas pipeline coming from Watford City. And that's a federally controlled that the county won't have no say over. And it'll come right, just about right to center. Center's gonna have the option of going natural gas, which will affect our propane supplier. Then that natural gas line will go, Maine Coda's probably gonna tap in, I'm only assuming, right, with conversation, because they might need it for a backup, instead of fuel oil, for startup shutdown. The line's gotta go all the way to Harwood, North Dakota. And all the towns in between will have the option of tapping into it. Coal Creek, which we used to call, is now next era. They're gonna be tapping into it. So they're already talking about 42 or 36-inch line going to a 42 now because of the extra, what do you want to say, communities and whatever that want to tap into it.
Volume.
Yeah, for the volume. So there's a lot going on.
I agree.
Do we have anything else on the agenda?
Just to add on your setback, yes, the 1320, that's like a state guideline.
It's a generic boilerplate everywhere.
And the 1.5 times, that is the minimum, and 1.5 times the rotor length, I believe, or diameter. That number's just gonna keep getting farther and farther, the bigger towers we're getting. So, I mean, the person could even put a cap in there for tower size, or turbine size, if they wanted to make an ordinance for it.
Well, as of right now, I think it does have to meet a certain size requirement and the color and just the appearance of it, so.
The old towers that were 200 to 300 feet are now 500-600 feet tall.
Right.
So they're just getting bigger and bigger, so the affected area is getting larger due to the size.
I agree. Yeah, so I guess at this point, I would like to see this move forward myself. I understand the property rights aspect of it, but I mean, there's a lot of other property rights being affected by it too. So it's like, why can we speak for this person's property rights but not this other person's? That's not fair. I mean, I guess not that it would even be feasible, but the only other way to get around these opinions is put it on the ballot. See what the whole county says. Let everybody vote instead of 7 people in here.
Then you're
I mean,
stuck
I'm-
with it.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
I think a better approach would be to poll the people in the area, you know, the development
That's what the
area.
vote would do.
And a couple of miles around. Why should the people 25 miles away be able to tell me what to do with my land?
It isn't
That's
about
what I'm
telling you
saying.
what you're about to do. This is how democracy works in America. Is everybody gets an opinion on things that affect them. I get that you say they live 25 miles away,
Yeah.
but they live here. Why, if they travel through there, or if they hunt there, or if they go ride horses there, they still have to see it and drive on the road and pull their horse trailer down that road, and they still have to deal with it. I think there's too many people looking at this like this whole side of this county is this little isolated own area that, oh, well, we're going to do whatever we want over here and everybody else can just deal with it and pay for it. I mean, that's not a fair perspective. I mean, it's understandable that people believe that and would say that out loud, but it doesn't mean it's fair. Go ahead, Dave.
So in answer to Bill, if you guys remember a couple months ago, I mentioned to you about from now on, any new project coming in would have a community meeting in Center instead of the two, Summit and NextEra took theirs out of town or out of the county even. So I think I mentioned to Steve this morning when he called, or when we talked, or maybe it was Austin, if they'd have a problem having a public meeting. Isn't that what you're asking, Bill? And have it at the Center Civic Center and the whole community, whether it be by email or not, well, email, Facebook, or in the paper, which we have to, advertise it, or, make it public, but have a community meeting. And right now, I don't think they'd have a problem with it.
The west end of the county will get outvoted on anything because the population is the east end. I used to always say, it's better now, but I always said the southwest corner, west of Highway 31 and south of the Hanover Road was a forgotten corner of the county. It has gotten better now. But there was a time when my wife worked at the school in Salem, and it was spring. She took the pickup because it had four-wheel drive. It took her, I don't remember, like a half an hour to go 8.5 miles to the highway. That's how bad the road was. And we were always told, well, there's no gravel in that part of the county. When they did find gravel, they were hauling gravel past our place, and I followed one of those trucks. It was going east of Highway 31, hauling it out of the area.
Can I ask how long ago?
4
or 5 years ago?
15, 20 years.
Okay.
It's been a while. And like I say, it's gotten a lot better now.
Right, and
I'm sorry, I think I heard Dave mention my name. I could not hear. It's pretty quiet on the speakers from the other side of the room, I'm presuming.
He made a comment about industries having a public comment meeting prior to coming and doing a project. And that there's the potential possibility that Enel would have probably participated in such a thing had they done it.
We would have to see the language that's proposed on that specifically.
No, he was making reference to prior to you guys investing money. If you guys would have had that opportunity to have a public meeting, then you guys would have been able to get more perspectives from the citizens by having that at the beginning rather than being in this situation now.
Or they still could have a public meeting.
Right.
I don't think this is proposed language for the ordinance as of right now. I mean, I know there was discussion about what McLean
No.
County currently has, but that's not even on the table right
No,
now. so-
I think myself, I'm going with the cap one because everything that's been presented to me, told to me, I've seen, I don't care about wind energy at all. I mean, whether you listen to politicians' opinion, whether they're left or right politicians. I mean, this is America. Everybody's got their own opinion. I don't want to sound negative, but I don't care about the coal mine either. I don't make any money off of it. I mean, it's cool. Everybody gets a good job and gets paid a lot of money. They've got their own little business model and are generating revenue. That's them. Wind energy is doing the same thing. I don't have any skin in their games. I'm here as a representative of the community to propose things, create amendments, create ordinances, and provide guidance or input to the county commissioners. They make the decision. I just gather the material and provide it to them, I guess.
Mr. Chair, I just asking. This is just a discussion, so this
Correct.
can be taken away. Everybody has copies, or if they need copies, we can get them to them, and we can discuss more
Yep.
later, and let this kind of sink in and let people look at it
sure.
and get other people's opinions or suggestions or comments. It's almost a 9:45. So.
Well, unfortunately,
I
the
have
clock's
five-
behind me,
I
so
have
I don't
five
get to
kids
see
at
that.
home texting me, so I was just asking.
I've been checking my phone every now and then.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I have a tendency to talk a lot. When
We need
I'm
to put a
involved in
cap on you
something
at 3 minutes.
when I get involved with something that interests me and affects so many people, time doesn't matter.
No, I get that.
It's yeah. I
Your
mean,
passion is appreciative, so.
Time sheet there. And then there's two there.
you got your time sheet.
I'm just suggesting.
Well, does anybody else have anything to say for this meeting about this solar issue? Or not solar, but wind turbine issue?
I think these meetings are great. In the 2 years that I've been a part of this community in my limited role, I've seen a great increase in public input on things, and I feel like people's voices are being heard more, and it's fantastic. And this is what democracy is all about.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Yep, and that's
I
why I just
agree.
want to add that it is great to have some ordinances finally in effect, and that is the nice thing about an ordinance is they can be amended in the future if needed.
Yep, I agree. So meeting adjourned?
Oh, please, thank you. I need to give you a kiss.